All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where you from for the people that haven't seen the first episode?
All right. My name is Frank Rodriguez, and I'm from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
Yes,
Pennsylvania,
sir.
man. And you're doing some big things out there, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying, brother.
You have a YouTube channel. When you first
Yes,
came
sir.
on, you told your story, and I'm gonna let
Mm-hmm.
you recap that a little bit here in a second. But
Yeah.
you have your own YouTube channel. I've been watching a lot more of it lately than you might think, man. It's
Well,
actually
thank you.
it's very interesting. And it's crazy out there, man. Kensington, correct? Is
Yes. Yes,
okay.
sir.
I didn't even hear. I mean, I heard about how bad that area is, but that
Hmm.
I guess it's a city. Kensington's
Yeah.
a
Well,
city.
it's a part of a city in Philly. It's
Okay,
a
yeah,
section in North Philly called Kensington, and it's like ground zero when it comes to heroin, fentanyl, drug use, all that type of stuff. It's the biggest open air heroin market in the United States. You
yeah,
know, you see everything down there. There's nothing you're not going to see. You take a stroll down Kensington Ave, you're going to see people smoking crack. You're going to see people shooting up. You're going to see people hustling out in the open, using drug, shooting up in the neck, all that stuff out in the open in front of police.
yeah.
It's like if you ever watched The Wire and they had what was called Amsterdam, where they
Yep.
just told everybody go down here and you get a pass. That's what it is down there.
That's crazy,
Unfortunately.
man. Yeah,
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 it's wild down there.
yeah.
It's
And
wild.
I mean, they would be locking people up by even more numbers if they didn't do it like that to a point. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's already
Exactly.
overcrowded as it is and all that stuff. So they gotta, manipulate the law a little bit. It's an epidemic, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's really spreading big time. This heroin thing is just getting out of control. And out there, man, it was unbelievable. I tuned in to one of your live streams, I think it
Hmm.
was. The dude was just banging it out right there on the freaking side of the sidewalk, man. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
man.
Listen, I was doing an interview last Saturday on a brother, and he's sitting on the steps. I'm interviewing him. And the lady she's like, hey, you mind if I sit here next to him? So I said, nah, go ahead. And she started smoking a crack pipe right in the middle of the interview. And it's not even the person I'm interviewing. I was like, what the fuck? But that's the way it is down there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the wild, wild west.
I'll tell you this, man. I ain't gonna lie though. That's some damn good content.
It
Oh
is.
my
It
god!
is. It's,
I mean, what the hell was that, man?
it
Did I
is.
just see
Yeah.
this? You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and people don't know that this shit's in their homeland. You know what I mean? They're
Oh,
out
man.
there in the crops, in the nice
Yeah.
towns, and they go to their town meetings every once a week, and they make sure everything's going good. And then the other
Yep.
side of town, out in Philly, the
Yep.
fools is shooting dope in the middle of their neck right in front of the police. There ain't no town meeting, none of this stuff.
No,
And
nothing.
and I don't think people truly
Yeah,
really
listen,
understand it, man.
yep, when I would take people down there, and we go down there and we do a lot of work in the neighborhood. And when I take people down there, people were truly shocked. Grown men would be crying because they'd see the stuff that's going on. They're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
They're like, no matter, and I tell people that. I say, no matter how much I try to prepare you, when I take you down there, your mind's going to be blown.
yeah,
It's worse than a movie. There's no way that even the lives do it any justice. You get down there and you get in that environment, smell the air, and you see what's going on. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world, unfortunately. And the
yeah,
violence down there is out of control. The price of life is so cheap down there.
yeah,
And it's crazy, especially when it spills over into the innocent victim, the children, the older people, stuff like that is crazy. Price of life is cheap down there.
yeah. It is, man. It's unbelievable. And hearing some of these people's stories and stuff like that on your channel, it's crazy, man. It's just another eye-opening experience that I think people should really go check it out, man. So if y'all want to hear some raw content, go check out his channel. I'm gonna leave all this stuff pinned in the comment section description of video for y'all to get over there nice and easy. But go ahead and recap, man. Recap for the people that haven't seen your first episode. Tell them a little bit about you and
Yep.
what made your story so interesting about going to
Gotcha.
prison at such a young age.
Yep. I was originally born in Brooklyn, New York, and moved to Pennsylvania. My mom brought me out here to, seek a better life, and that shit ended up backfiring. Grew up, you know, typical drug infested home, domestic abuse, all that type of stuff I've been through. Went to prison at the age of 15, was certified as an adult at the age of 15, ended up spending 17 years in prison. I've been home 4 years. I just made 4 years on December 23rd. And life now is good. That I'm playing on the other side of the street. It's a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Been able to sort of put all my energy and efforts into trying to build up some of the same communities that I helped to tear down. I was extremely stubborn, and knucklehead, teenager, and
Yeah.
it bit me in the ass bad.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you went to prison very young. Do you think it had some kind of lasting effects going in that young, man? Let me ask you this. This is what I want to ask you in the last one, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, was there a time where you seen someone having a rougher time than you, but he was much older than you, and you're like 15 in prison? Did
Oh
you ever
yeah.
see any other people, like grown ass men, getting, going through
Yep.
some extremely hard times, but you were actually living all right?
Absolutely. I've seen that a lot. My mentality from being raised in the streets, I was, even though I was young, I was already a wolf. You know what I'm saying? And just being young, my mentality, and a lot of surviving in prison is your mentality. Is you don't have to be the toughest, but
Yeah.
if you show that you're ready to move, and you carry yourself that way, that'll save you a lot of headaches.
Hmm.
But if you show you're timid and you're weak, you're going to get eaten alive. And I see it all the time, and even at that age, the type of extortion games they go on in prison with grown men. I would have somebody go put pressure on them. One of my homies, I'd be like, go put some pressure on him. And I'm going to intervene and tell dude, look, no, you got to leave him alone, and then flip the script on, dude that was getting pressure put on him. I would tell him, look, you got to leave dude alone. And then I go back to him, look, if you want me to keep them boys away from you, you gotta break some bread. And
Yeah.
and that was something that I did, at 15, 16 years old. And I didn't think, I didn't realize the impact of that until I got a little bit older. And I started seeing the younger guys do it. When I got a little bit older, I started seeing the younger guys do it. And I was like, it's just the way it is. And it was, at 15 years old, I was literally a child.
Yeah.
So the guy or the person that I'm supposed to be protecting, even though it was a whole setup, if they really wanted to, they could beat the shit out of me. They could do whatever they want to me, but their mind state just wasn't there. They
Yeah.
wasn't trained to go and ready to put in work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sort of separated me from other people my age and even older, and help me to to not only survive but to thrive in that environment.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, man. And it's just crazy to think. When you seen this was another question as well. Let's say, I know you've seen other people go through some shit, probably get taken advantage of. You
Oh
probably
yeah,
you've
of
done your
course,
share of dirt. We all
of
have.
course. Yep.
Getting over on people, whatever the case
Mhm.
is. See, I made a video in the past, and I'm sure you've probably seen it because you speak of that area having like booty bandits and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I've
Yep.
seen guys get preyed upon, right, and I wouldn't do nothing about it. I didn't
Mhm.
know them like that, and I would just watch the shit go on. And a lot of people, when I told that story on my channel, a lot of people told me that I should have intervened. Just because
Yes.
I played a game of softball with the guy.
Yeah.
Uh, Tell me, man, do you think? Explain this to people. A
Yeah.
situation like that, because I know you've seen stuff like this
Listen,
happen right before your eyes.
I would see a lot of that, especially the penitentiary that I was in, that I spent a lot of my time in, was Dallas. That penitentiary in Pennsylvania is known as, the predators. It was called the Pink Palace back in the day, because you go there, if you don't know how to fight or you ain't willing to stab somebody and you're vulnerable, they're going to try you, and they're not going to try you, just to beat you up. They're going to try to rape. I've seen
Yeah.
plenty of times grown men get raped, young dudes get raped. Listen, there was a guy in there, and His name, they used to call him Hockey Puck. This
Oh
brother would come
shit.
in and pray. Listen, he would pray on the young white kids that would come in. At the time they had boxing in the gym, and everybody in jail thinks they know how to fight. So he
Yeah.
would see them and be like, "Oh, you look like you know how to box." And of course, nobody in jail is going to be like, "Yeah, I don't know how to box." You know, so he'd be like, "Oh, let me see what you do," and then he'd groom them for months. Take them to the basketball court, be like, "Oh, I see you know how to play basketball. I'm going to put you on my team." Give them some sneakers, things like that, and then it would get to the point where they'd get comfortable, or the individual will get comfortable with Hockey Puck, and Hockey Puck will be slap boxing with him, and dude thinks they're playing. Hockey Puck's just waiting for the right time, and he lines him up, knock dude straight out, literally drug him in the bathroom, and raped him. And I seen dude was on the block with me. He was a young white kid, and he was on the block with me, and I seen everything going down from beginning to end. And like you said, to me, that was none of my business. In the penitentiary, just sticking your nose where it don't belong. And people don't understand that unless they've been in that situation or been
Yeah.
in those type of places where you put your nose in where it don't belong, and you're gonna find, that those problems are not your problems. And to me, it was. I always thought of it as, look, my ID tag has one name on there, one picture, and that's my picture, and that's who I need to worry about.
Yeah.
Because of that environment is so conniving and you can't trust anybody. You can't go around and be as much as you might want to. You can't go around and be saving people. That's just not the place for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not the place for it. And a lot of people will say that, you should intervene and it's just the right thing to do. And 100% it is. It is
Yeah.
the right thing to do. But that's the wrong environment to do it. That's what the difference is.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree, man. And even by you explaining it, people truly won't understand unless you're
No,
put
I know in
into
the
it. You know what
comments
I
they're
mean?
gonna be like, "Oh, you should have done this and should have done that."
Yeah,
They,
I get it all the time too in my
yeah,
past videos when I talk about stuff like that, man. But it is what it is, and I had to turn my head to shit like that every day. It was every
yeah,
day. It was something going on to the point where I was like, "Damn, that's messed up." You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was crazy seeing people go. It was literally watching. I would watch people get pretty much tortured every day, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Whether it was by being bullied or picked on or beat up or robbed, they
yep.
would go through it every day. Let me ask you about PC and
Hmm.
out there. Do they have a PC? Do they
Yeah,
have?
they
I mean,
do.
like if someone were to say, "Hey, I'm at fear for my life."
Yep.
Can they request to remain in PC the rest of their bid?
Yes, they can. They will. They'll. If you go, let's say you go check in, and that's what it's called, is ticket PC. You go tell the guards, "I need to get off the block," or "I need to get off the compound." They'll take you. They'll put you in PC, and then it's called the PRC, Program Review Committee. They'll come around, like every Thursday and reevaluate you. And all you have to do is tell them, "Look, I can't go back out on the compound." And then eventually they'll probably ship you to another prison or whatever it might be. But there's plenty of dudes that hide the rest of their time in confinement. Whether and people might not even be scared. It might not even be a fear thing. They might run up a tab with drugs. Run up a couple $1,000 tab with drugs, and their family's tired of paying their drug debts and all that type of stuff, or something as simple. They might have told on somebody in the street,
Yeah,
and they just don't want to be put out there on Front Street, so they'll check in, be like, "Yo, I got to get off. I got to get off the compound."
yeah.
That's something that happens a lot. You see a lot of people do that.
Let me ask you this, man, because I've done this a couple times, and I don't know if I'm sure you've done a lot of time. You probably have done it. I've actually done kind of like a PC move, man,
Mm-hmm.
where I told someone that I was at fear for my life, but I did it either to get to a certain block, to leave
Yeah,
the block I was in. Was there
yeah,
ever times where you've done that or someone else has done that? Is that suspect to people
yeah.
out there? You think?
Out here, we don't really do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And the penitentiaries out here, they're inmate ran. So let's say if I wanted to get to another block or something, I could, and as long as you wasn't, there's a hierarchy in prison. And a lot of times I don't think people understand that. Just because everybody got the same uniform and same number and all
Oh
that
yeah,
shit doesn't mean you're the same person.
yeah.
So if
For
you
sure.
have some respect in the prison, you could get moved to another block. You know, if one of my homies come on the compound, and I'll be like, yo, I want to go over there or send him over here. You know, in Pennsylvania, it doesn't take a lot to make that happen.
All right, so how about you tell me a little bit about the drug game in the pen out there, man? Was it vicious like it is out in the streets?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, that used to be my main hustle was selling drugs in prison. I was penitentiary rich. You know what I mean? To the point where I maxed out from the whole back in 2013. And when they came, they took $10,000 off my books.
Whew.
Took that shit. Took $1,000 cash off out of my cell that I had hidden, and took probably I would say like 500-600 pack of cigarettes. Where I had single cell status. I don't get cellies. So the top mattress, the second mattress, I took all the stuffing out and stuffed it with cigarettes. Because I had so much
Holy
cigarette.
shit, man! You are a damn kingpin in that joint, dog.
There's motherfuckers. Listen, there's homies, and I don't say this to glorify it at all.
Yeah, it's still cool though, man.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Listen, there's homies of mine that's gonna watch this, and they're gonna comment on this and be like, he ain't lying. Where?
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah, where I was sending, every month I'd send $3,000 home. I had money orders bouncing left and right,
shit.
to my house. Like I said, they took like 90 days before I maxed out. They took me to the hole for investigation, cleaned my whole bank account out. I mean,
feds?
No, the inside the prison. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your funds were wrapped up. That 10 grand was wrapped up within the prison, or?
Yeah, it was on my account. It was on my books.
Oh shit! They allowed you to have all that on there, man.
Oh, you could run it. You could have whatever. There was times I had almost $30,000 on my books while I was in prison.
Damn, I could have sworn they might have had like some kind of limit or something to that shit. Okay.
No, I'm not out here.
That's crazy.
You can have whatever. Man. And they took my whole account, and then they even went as far back as to see how much money I sent out and put me in the red for all that. They said that money was gained through contraband, and put me in the red for all that. And it all started was I had a homie that I used to be the barber in jail. So I'm cutting hair on the block, and the barber shop on the block right next door was my cell. So I was cutting somebody's hair. So I told one of my homies, yo, grab me something out of my cell real quick. So he ran in, and the shakedown team was on the block, and they knew he didn't belong in that cell. They knew because it's a row of single cells. So they knew he didn't have a single cell status. So they was like, oh, you're just going to do that right in front of us. So they was like, all right, since you did that, we're going to go in there and search.
Oh, my
So they started searching, and they won. They do the metal detector on the mattresses. So they hit my mattress, the one I sleep on, was good. They hit the top mattress, and that shit went off. And it went off from the
aluminum foil, yeah.
Yeah, from the foil and the cigarette packs.
Cigarettes.
So they cut it open, they ripped it open a little bit, and seen the whole shit was stuffed with. It was nothing but, I had made a mattress with tape and out of cigarettes. And it was just because I had so much tobacco all over the blocks. Everybody sell, that I would pay them here, leave this in your cell, and I just ran out of space. So 3 days later, they come take me to the hole, wipe my books clean. And, I was looking forward to that, coming home from prison with $10,000 on your books. That's, you got to
you didn't get to get that, huh?
Oh, no, hell no.
Oh,
they put me in the red.
Man.
They put me in the red for that. And then, took all my money, and that was it. That was the end of that.
I know you were drunk as hell, man.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, I was. I'm still hurt about that. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God, dude. That's a lot of grinding. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'll never forget when I seen someone, I've seen a few people, actually, with real cash in prison, hundreds and shit. I'll never forget the first time I seen it. It's been about 2 years since I seen real cash. and it look, 2 years without seeing it, you might think it's fake when you see it, So
Yeah,
I was like, man, that's just fake. But it's crazy to see and hear how much money you had in
yep,
that.
yeah. And you'll see
You
there's
said you
people that's
got
gonna
caught with how much in cash?
a little over $1,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of damn money though in prison, man. You know,
Yeah,
in
but
cash.
it's also it was worth more than I would give them double. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
they wanted, if they gave me $100 bill, I'd give them $200 just because it was cash. So
yeah,
that I didn't have to. I found that as more valuable because I didn't have to sign a slip to send money off my books. I could just put that right in the envelope and send it to my daughter or send it to my family. You know, and I should have sent it out. I should have sent all the money off. There's no way I should have kept that money on my books. Now in hindsight, of course, and I did it because my daughter's mother at the time, I didn't want her to fucking spend the money. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep it. I should have sent it. I should have been sent it. You
it
know.
feels good too, though, to know that that shit's right there, man. Nice and safe with you, a little
Yeah,
bit.
absolutely. And
But
while you're doing that stuff, you don't think you're gonna get caught. You think you're
yeah,
smarter than everybody else. And that was just part of it.
yeah,
Because if I thought I was gonna get caught, I would have never. I wouldn't have done it. I would have sent the money right home. I would have never
yeah,
kept it.
yeah.
You know.
See, a couple prisons I was in, there was a couple dudes selling some shit in the block. It was like
Mhm.
one dude sells something, the other dude selling something else, or the same thing. There'd be two, three guys selling bud. It
Yeah.
was like dealers all in the shit. Was it like that? Any places? Was there ever competition with you at all at any
Yeah.
point?
Yeah. Absolutely, there is. And also, you know, um, out here the big thing is Suboxone. Suboxone strips. You
Yeah,
know, you buy them on the street for $5, $10, and each strip you could get better than $100 for. So you're making a killing.
yeah,
So there's always competition, and then there's always people that they get that habit. They don't want to get sick, so you got to be careful because
yeah,
they'll try to take your head off. You see a lot of that, especially like I said in Dallas. That prison was Wild Wild West, so there was plenty of times where you see, somebody getting stabbed up real bad, somebody getting their head beaten, and it's all around drugs. That
yeah,
that was very, very common there. And even in my position, just having the drugs and making money where you gotta keep some people happy. You know what I mean? Just in case if anything does happen to jump off,
yeah,
you got to keep some people happy, and it's just the price of doing business.
yeah. And a lot of people. Sometimes I tell people that, and they look at it as some kind of form of weakness, but it's not. It's making moves. I mean,
Yep.
sometimes you gotta break off just something, some way, shape, or form. Maybe not money, maybe it's just time, your time, or something,
Yep.
in order to
Exactly.
make certain kind of moves. And that's how it goes, man. I understand exactly what you're talking about. You know how people doing drugs in prison. I mean,
Mhm.
was syringes and all that stuff like pretty open to people in there? Was it easy for people to get stuff like that?
It wasn't super hard, but I won't say it's easy. If you
Yeah.
work in medical,
Well,
you
what was
know,
the price of one? Let's say one hit the black market syringe. What do you think it would go for?
$100, $100 a syringe will
That's
go for. But a lot of times is the people that had them, they're not selling them.
yeah.
They're
They
not
be
selling them.
reusing the hell out that shit.
Exactly. They resharpen them up. You know what I mean? They get sandpaper or matchbook and the match striker
Yeah.
that works just like sandpaper.
Yeah.
And resharpen them up. They reach their hand in the sharps container and medical. And get them like that. So they wasn't getting them to sell them for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They might, if they get a couple of them, they might trade a couple for some drugs and then keep the rest. Because
Yeah.
that's like gold in there for somebody that gets high.
Yeah. They didn't do no drug tests out there?
Yeah, they do. They do randoms.
Yeah.
But there's people in the hallway selling piss. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Oh, damn, that's very
there's
convenient.
there's people in the hallway. You go down a hallway next to laundry to go take your piss test, and they always call you in the morning right after count. So you
Yeah.
got when they're coming around to do count in the morning, they tell you, "Oh, Rodriguez, you got a piss test after count." So as soon as they're done doing count, they hit your cell door, and you go out. And when you're waiting in the hallway to take a piss, they might have 30 inmates down there.
Yeah.
Always a couple guys down there that's selling piss. You hot and
That's a
sell
damn
your piss.
hustle, boy.
Yeah, yep. And
That's
and you
crazy.
have to pay. Like people you would see people get some clean piss, and of course you don't have the money on you, the currency on you to because you wasn't expecting that. So you'd see people try to burn people and be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna pay him. Dude's a nut." That same dude is gonna drop a slip on you right away,
Yeah.
and he knows you're dirty, so they're gonna
Yeah.
come back and get you. So you would see a lot of that too.
Yeah. Is it everybody plays their position? It's a
Yeah,
dirty game, man. He might
that's
not be
exactly
this.
what it is.
He might not be, and a lot of people. You get into it with a cat that has some principles and shit. You're gonna fight it out. End
Yeah.
of it. You mess with someone weak and they really can't fight or nothing. He's gonna hold. He's gonna be hitting you with all kinds of crazy shit. Might hit you with
Oh yeah.
paperwork and you'll be
Yeah.
getting raided every damn week because this guy keeps on
Yep.
pressing the issue. So you gotta be
Yep.
careful, man. You gotta right your wrongs with everyone. It doesn't matter
Exactly.
any kind of form of person, whether the little guy or the big guy, man. You gotta
Yep.
play the position.
Yep. That's why it's so much easier just to be a stand-up dude.
That's
It's just
it,
so
man.
much easier.
Oh my god, man. And you know what? It's like down the streets. I've been feeling so amazing lately, man. It's because I'm just a stand-up guy now.
Yep.
It feels good, man. To
Yep.
be a good guy.
Absolutely. Listen,
It does,
I'll be
man.
driving in my truck and I'll be like, man, this feels beautiful to know that the worst thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get pulled over and it's gonna be for speeding. That's it. They can
I ain't
search
gotta
my car.
I
Yeah,
ain't gotta freaking freak
nope,
out or nothing, man. It's gonna
exactly.
be
I
all
don't have
good.
the worst thing I'm gonna get in trouble for is speeding.
Yep.
Because I got a left foot. That's it.
Yeah, damn right,
It
man.
feels good.
It does, man. It feels wonderful. Let me ask you one more question about the old dope game out there,
Yeah.
man. And then we'll go into a little bit about what's going on in your life now. What typically happens when someone gets caught? Like over here in Virginia, if you were to pop dirty for anything,
Mhm.
your level is going to increase. You're going to go. Let's say I was at a level 3,
Yeah.
and I get caught dirty. They'll probably put me at a level 5 or 4.
Okay. Yep.
Do they do stuff like that? What happens when they pop
Yeah.
dirty over there?
Okay. So first time, uh, you sent to the hole automatically. So anytime you're in the hole, you're a level 5. Anytime you're released from the hole, you're at a level 4. So you go to the hole 90 days and loss of visitation. Anytime you get popped with a hot piss test, you take your visits. So they'll take your visits for 90 days for the first time. The second time, they take your visits for a year. You get popped with 3 hot urines, you forfeit your visits. You get no more visits. That's the only thing out here that you lose your visits for. That, and of course, if you get caught having sex in the visiting room, which happens out here a lot.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Well, how is that?
Oh yeah,
How is the VIs for people that want to shoot their
listen,
shot like I was doing?
yeah. Listen. The, and they have picnics out here too. Well, they stopped them now.
The
Before they
little
would
family
have picnics.
janks.
Yeah, where they have, there might be 20, 30 guards, but there's 500 inmates.
Yeah.
And each inmate is allowed to have up to 3 visitors. So what lifers would do, I had a whole bunch of homies, what they would do, instead of telling their family, stay home, I don't want to see you, they hire a bunch of prostitutes to come up, a whole bunch of escorts.
My
And that's what
God.
they used to do. The girls come up with, they'd already be paid. And like, for say, me and you homies, and you're locked up and I'm out there and you just call me, Frank, they got a picnic coming up, send me some girls up. Got you, no problem. So I'm ordering you an escort or a prostitute, whatever, and send her up there. Here, go see my man. And I'm going to break you off,
Oh,
pay you a couple
shit.
$100. Yep.
You know, I
And
never
then,
thought about hiring like a girl like that to go
oh,
visit friends in prison, man.
listen,
That'd be. I think they would enjoy that.
oh, listen, and then it gets even deeper though. So let's say I sent her to go see you, right?
Yeah.
And I would tell her, look, I'm gonna give you $300 to go see my man. I'm gonna pay for your trip, all that. But while you're up there, you have potential to make another $1,000. Each dude, she go up there and she might have sex with him. You know, here, you gotta pay her $200. You know what I mean? $100 to get a shot real quick.
Yeah.
And she's up there to make money. And what dude isn't gonna jump on that when they're in the penitentiary?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Any
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Any guy with some money. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're gonna come up with some money for that.
Yeah.
You know, and
sure,
let's say
man.
you call your mom and tell her, Mom, I just got a shot of ass. I need you to send such and such $100. She might be like, all right, fuck it. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She understand. Oh, mom, understand,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah. You know?
Mom, you can't come up here this weekend, though.
Yeah, I got something jumping off. You know, your family gonna be like, all right, I get it. Do what
You ever
gotta
been
do.
ramsacked at a VI, man, and got cuffed up right there on the spot?
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
It never happened per se to me, but I've seen it happen. Me and my wife used to go to the visit, and you know, she got needs, I got needs. We get together, and you know, we wanna, you know, some dudes would put their wife out there. You know what I mean? And you see her lifting up the skirt,
yeah.
You know, and then there's other dudes that you know, we keep it, you know, as respectful as possible. I don't want nobody to see my wife in a compromising position, you know, vice versa, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, sometimes that kissing and hugging, you know, leads up.
You know what I like to do, man? This was my thing. This is how I did it.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out, man. I would get like, I would know the picture guy because in the VI you can take pictures,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
So the picture guy, I always tell on my channel, man, always make sure you're friends with the picture guy. You know, cafeteria people. You know, the good guys you need to make sure you're close with. So picture guy, man, I always hooked him up and. You know, when we would get in the corner, you know, and you know when there ain't no cameras back there, so I'm grabbing some cheeks. You know what I mean? Skin cheeks. That's all I need to get me by, man.
It don't take much. Don't take much.
Yeah, and COs all around me. They don't know nothing because we're in the corner, we're taking pictures and shit.
Exactly.
So you know, that's how I used to get.
Yeah.
I mean, there was other times where I did, you know, stupid shit and tried a little something more, but that was my main little thing for the VI. Man, that was crazy. Good times, bad times, but good times, you know?
Yeah, you make the most out of them, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, you know, this, and that kind of brings me into the next topic. Maybe we were talking a little bit right before the video, and I said we'll talk about it during the video. You have another child on the way, man, and I didn't know it was this many. How many kids you got, man?
7. This is me and my wife. This is our 7th child. Yep. We got a set of twins in there, so we got 2 at one. You know what I'm saying? But
that don't count that just counts as one. That's what I got twins too, so that's what I say.
Yeah.
That was just a one shot.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, but I love children. I love children. And if I was a millionaire, I might have some more, you know. I just love that I'm in a position in my life now where financially I can support them. And I can be there as a father. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about going to the penitentiary, missing out on 5 years and all that type of stuff. It's I love my children, you know. This one was a surprise. I told you, I listen, we found out she was pregnant on Thursday. That following Tuesday, I was scheduled to get a vasectomy. So we was trying to be meant but I guess
meant to be, man. It was meant
that's
to
the way
be,
I see
man.
it too. Listen,
that's how you gotta
see
look
it like
at
that.
It, you know.
I see it like that also. You know, and for me, I had a fucked up childhood, so it's a blessing to be able to make sure none of my children have to deal with anything like that. You know, that I can be exactly to them what I needed as a child. You know, and that's all I try to be what I needed as a child.
Yeah, and that's what everyone should always think about, man. It's not hard, man.
No,
But
it's really not.
yeah,
It's really
it's
not.
not. And but people, man, it's just nowadays. People grow up in a lot of shitty situations. I just interviewed someone right before you, man, and damn, like his what he said in that video, it just blows my mind that kids go through a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
So we got to show them the good side, nothing but the good side, man, and that's what you're
yep,
doing out there.
exactly.
You're cutting hair. You got your channel. Go ahead, and tell people a little bit about what you
Yep.
got going on, how they can follow you, man.
Okay. I got a YouTube channel myself. ATG Vlogs is called. Stands for Against the Grain, which is the name of my barbershop. I'm a barber. I'm a barber. I own a barbershop. And initially, when I started the page, I was going to do barbershop related stuff. And then that's why I named it ATG Vlogs. But then it sort of took a course of its own. And I do a lot of work in the Kensington area, and I interview the homeless, people with drug addiction, mental health, in hopes of humanizing them and letting them tell their story. Because everybody got a story, and a lot of people there's so much stigma and shame placed on people suffering from drug addiction and mental health. So I give them a voice and allow them to tell their story, so we can realize that they're just like us. They just sin a little differently. They're and nobody's exempt. I've interviewed people that have been stockbrokers. Have had major money, been super successful, and I've interviewed people that have came out of the womb addicted. You know what I mean? So it doesn't discriminate, and it also myself, I'm coming up on 4 years clean, so it helps to keep everything nice and green for me. And I always say that I like to try to help build up the same communities that I helped to tear down. So that allows me to do a little bit of that, by going down there and we provide free haircuts, cosmetics, clothing. We help get people into rehabs and detoxes, and just spread some love. A lot of people will ask me and be like, Frank, what's your goal with the channel, or what's your goal doing work down there? They say, you trying to save everybody? And I said, of course, that'd be awesome. But my main goal is just for that 15 minutes that we interact, just to let them know that they're cared about, they're loved, even though I don't know them. You know what I mean? I could, that I could care less, but there's somebody's mother, there's somebody's son, somebody's father. And a lot of times those people, they're just lost. They're lost, and maybe nobody has told them, look, you can do it. I care about you. Maybe nobody has told them stuff like that in a long time, and sometimes they need to hear that. And when I tell them, I'll go down there and I'll share with them. I said, look, I used to be down here getting high too. And they'll be like, are you serious? What? I wouldn't think that. You got a nice truck. You look put together. And I said, yeah, but at one time I wasn't. So I hope that it instills hope in them, that they realize that it's not easy, but it's worth it, and you can do it. If I did it, anybody could do it. I like to think of that.
Have you seen any success stories? Yeah, anybody
Yeah.
change their lives around completely?
Yep. I
Yeah.
got I got a couple of them. I got a couple people that I've interviewed that have, died, and I got a couple that I've interviewed, and there's one lady in particular early on, one of my first interviews, and her daughter reached out to me about a year after the interview, and told me, she thanked me, and she said, thank you, because of your interview with my mother. I know how to interact with her. I know some of the stuff she was struggling with, because she wouldn't share that stuff with me. And I said, well, how's she doing? She said, look, she's doing good. She's working in a rehab, and she's got a year clean. I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people that haven't seen their family members for a couple years and see them on one of my interviews and be like, thank you for treating my family member with respect and being kind to them and just giving them a voice, and just having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I had one time, it was, I'll go do lives, like you've seen my lives.
Yeah.
So I'll go walk around and do live. And it was over the summer. It was about 2:00 in the morning. I'm walking through a park that's called Needle Park. And a police officer starts running behind me. So I said, oh, here he comes, you know, starting some shit. That's initially what I thought. And he said, you Frank? And I said, yeah. He said, look, I watch your channel. And he said, I just want to thank you. He said, because of you allowing these people to tell their stories, now I know how to interact with them. Now I know how, now they're not just the face. I realized that, okay, this is why Natasha acts like this. And this is why Antoine act like this. And this is why Malo acts like this, you know. And he said, I get to hear a little bit of their backstory. And now that changes the way I do my job. Yeah. And to me, that was probably the most gratifying compliment that I received, is to change the way a police officer polices, change the way he interacts with the people he interacts with, you know, because growing up in the streets, I hated the cops, just because of the lifestyle that I was living. And then when I got older and a little more mature and a little wiser, I realized they just doing a job. They're just doing their job. You know, there's good and there's bad. And to be able to help change the way that he does his job, you know, that to me, that probably ranks up there with my biggest compliments that I've received from doing, you know, my channel and the services that I try to do.
Damn right, man. That's a huge thing. You know, I got pulled over on the interstate not so long ago, and the cop, he said, dang, you got a YouTube channel? Yeah, excuse me, man.
Yeah.
You got a YouTube channel? And I said, I sure do, officer.
Yeah.
He said, "What shit?" I said, "Man, look, you know, I was, you know, because I just got this SUV, man. I wasn't used to it. That thing cruises, you know what I mean? I was like, shit, it was lofting. So
yeah, you find yourself going a lot faster.
I was going really fast, man, and he understood. He's like, you know, and he let me off a warrant, and you know, it was just so crazy to me that I had to take a picture with the guy, man. You know what I mean? Because it was unbelievable that an officer is actually. I know. Law enforcement of all kinds. Watch all. Yeah, I know. And if you think they don't, you're out the loop, my friend. But
yes, exactly.
So you know, it was just really cool, man, to just see, you know, just not have to run from them. I ain't gonna run from you this time, man. Yeah. And he gave me a warning, so that's amazing too. That was amazing in itself. But it is cool, man, to live on this other side. The straight and narrow, ladies and gentlemen, is where you want to be. You don't want to have to look behind your back. You don't want to have to be afraid of the police. You don't have to worry about having to run or anything like that. You just want to go home, enjoy time with the family. Or if you ain't got no family, enjoy time with your PlayStation or something, man. Just enjoy your freedom, you know. It's good, man. We're out here doing it, though, Frank. We're out here doing it, my friend. And
absolutely, brother.
You know,
and it feels so good, man. It feels so good to wake up and not have a motherfucker snoring or not hearing, you know, motherfuckers screaming out the cell. To wake up and have my son jump on the bed and be able to take my son to school. That's some of my favorite times now, is taking my son to school. It's, you know, because I remember there was times where I used to be like, damn, I'll give anything to just take my son to school or to roll over and feel my wife there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit is beautiful. And it's not hard. It's not hard either. That's the thing.
It's not, man, but people take it for granted, you know, and that's another thing, man, that I try to show people, man. Don't take those little things for granted, you know?
No.